All right, Sam. So it's good to have you here on the Zoom. How's your day going so far?
Good. Yeah, it's been a good day so far. I'm gonna go for a run
So,
later today.
oh, awesome. How many miles?
I'm gonna try to get 3.
Okay, good. And are you aiming for a specific time or just kind of getting the reps in?
Time wise, it won't be fast. I try to keep it around 35, 36 minutes, something like that. I mean, it's not super time consuming, but yeah, I have in mind a reasonable amount of time it's going to take. But it's not going to be fast, slow and easy, but steady.
Yeah, awesome. And that's something that you've been really trying to get back into because I know that we started working together around, I would say like, was it April
It was earlier than that.
or March?
uh,
No?
Maybe March. Yeah, I can tell you my goals for engaging your services. I have been going to the gym at Long Beach State and kind of working with some of the machines and trying to just get some basic uh, strength and conditioning. My goal at that point was, and it is today, is basically to build myself not for any kind of aesthetics. I'm not trying to get jacked or I'm not trying to lose weight or anything. I'm
Mhm.
trying to just build my strength for longevity and endurance because as you get older, you lose your balance and you tend to get a little bit less nimble and falling and slipping. Those are some of the issues that people have to be worried about. So I'm trying to build myself some strength and as a just a basic platform for being an active person. And so after being in the gym a little bit, I signed up for a personal trainer because I wanted something a little bit more. And I think what the trainer offers and what you offered me was, first of all, a kind of an evaluation to see where I am and to understand what are my goals. And at that point, I stated to you that I did want to start running again, and that I hadn't been running too much, and I wanted to run with injury free. And what you were able to explain was that uh, running isn't just feet and legs; it's a whole body process, and so the whole
Yeah.
body has to be involved in conditioning for that. And it's not just building up your legs so that you can take go a long way. It's understanding that foot, ankle, quads, hips, trunk, arm, everything has to kind of work together. So what you were able to do is kind of evaluate where I was on all those things. And we learned pretty early that I didn't have very good balance. Well, why not? So we say, well, why don't you? Well, because my ankles aren't strong, because my thighs aren't strong, because my hips are I mean, there's a lot of reasons. So you start taking it apart and understanding the body as a system. And that's what you're able to help me do. Understand that my body is not just a set of levers and an isolated function of muscle and bone and so on. It's an organic working system. So if you're going to work on one part of it, you have to work on the whole of it to make that part most efficient. And so the evaluation part was really important to me.
Mhm.
Then, if you don't mind, I'll just keep talking. Is that all right? You can edit this however you like.
Oh, sure. I did want to add something real quick. So, the fact that you mentioned that the whole body works as a system, and with running, it's really important to make sure that you're running very efficiently. So one thing we did do was making sure to warm up with a lot of mobility. So I kind of wanted to get your feedback on that. How did the mobility training go for you?
Well, it was really useful because I think the important thing to understand when you go to a gym, you've got all this equipment, you got all these machines and all these weights and everything. And in fact, most of that's not necessary if you use your body and your body weight to understand flexibility, stretching, and just the basic mechanics of how to get the body kind of ready to be trained. So I think that was important for me to understand the flexibility part of it.
Yeah,
And we did work
awesome.
on a lot of stuff on the mat and a lot of stretching, and those were really helpful because you realize a lot of your clients, the older clients you have, some people haven't done anything in 50 years. They've had some
Right.
bad habits. And they've gotten themselves into some patterns that they have to work through. So that part of it's really important. And a trainer is really helps you keep an eye on that where you might not ever figure it out on your own.
And what would you say was your biggest struggle, like with the whole process of like starting to do mobility and starting to do strength train and like just get a routine going?
Well, I think the biggest challenge for me and maybe for a lot of people is just understanding that you have to be consistent, you have to be willing to put in the work, and you can't just do it every once in a while. You've got to do it as part of a pretty much almost like a lifestyle. You have to do it. If you don't do it every day, something consciously doing it to, for function or strength or training, you have to at least be aware that it's something that you need to you need to do it regularly, and you need to do it in some kind of a systematic way. And so understanding that part of it then comes the plan, which I think is what the trainer provides, a system, some
Yep.
specific kinds of things to work with what I have, what I need, and where I'm headed.
Yeah. And like from the time that we started working together, what has been some of your biggest wins?
Well, I can feel strength in my legs. I'm definitely more balanced. Uh, I practice trying to be balanced now, and I do it all the time. I'm definitely more. I have better upper body strength just from doing various dumbbells and stretch bands and so on. And I think I'm overall my fitness level has increased. And now as I'm starting to run more, I feel after a run, I feel comfortable and without any pain or discomfort, which makes me feel I'm going to do it again. And that's the whole point. I want to keep doing it. And if I'm going
Yeah,
to start hurting, I've got to go back and understand why it hurts. Right now, I've got myself to a point where I feel that I can continue to progress and to increase my training without risk of injury.
gotcha. Yeah. And for the most part, like if you're running, what has been the biggest difference, like running now compared to when you like first saw me? Like, does it feel like you're able to recover better? You have better performance? Anything specific like that?
Performance hasn't really happened yet because I'm trying to be real conservative about the buildup. As far as recovery, yeah, I don't have any. I used to have a little bit of discomfort in the ankles, uh, but we've been doing a lot of ankle stretching, ankle strength stuff, which is I never did before. When I used to run before, I never used to do that, and it makes complete sense. Also, heel lifts, things like that, just making sure the calves are strong, and then never had done any work with the glutes and some of some of the lunges and things like that we were working on. Uh, Squats really help with the lower body strength. So recovery wise, it is different, and it's really encouraging because I think I can keep pushing it.
Yeah, definitely. Like you definitely have been implementing the exercises very consistently. And, I'm very proud that you're able to do that, that you're able to fit it into your lifestyle. So, like, another question I had to follow up is like, how does your lifestyle look like now?
Well, actually, I've started eating better. I mean, I never ate poorly. But I've really pretty much cut red meat out of my diet. I hardly drink wine or beer anymore, which I used to, pretty regularly. Uh, I eat pretty much like a Mediterranean diet, and I think that's part of my overall scheme is like I want to do everything I can to preserve my cognitive ability, my mobility and the moving about in the world, and to just sort of I want to stick around for a while. I want to be an active, sentient person and working in the modern world, and I'm going to do everything I can. Which in this, from what I know, exercise is the only real medicine that there is. I mean, there's only one thing you can really tell somebody, this is going to cross the board be beneficial to you, exercise. Diet, of course, and nutrition, but that's sort of become embodied in the way I'm living my life. So not all that happened in the last 6 months, but certainly it's encouraged me to be a lot more conscious of how I'm fueling my body and what I'm doing to keep myself, you know, keep myself moving in the dietary world.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because, with your lifestyle, you know, it has to do a lot with just how you're eating, how you're moving your body, how you look at life different. So I'm really glad that you were able to narrow down on like what things you should be eating so that you're able to recover better, you're able to feel better throughout your day. So overall, like having that wellness perspective, I think it's really beneficial, especially for someone who is of older age like yourself. I'm really glad that you have that perspective. Um, Sam, so like, you've done a lot of progress up to this point. Where do you see yourself 6 months from now with your health and your fitness journey?
Well, I think I'm going to continue running 3, 4 times a week with a little bit more, maybe starting to do longer runs on weekends, things like that. If I continue to stay strong and balanced in the recovery, I'm going to start building some mileage. So I can see myself training for a little bit longer races and being coming. I love being involved in races, but they're hard, and I don't want to be, I don't want them to be tough on me. But in terms of in 6 months, um, I think I'm going to be as good or better. I mean, I'm just getting stronger, and I think it's going to be just more of the same. I'm pretty optimistic about my health, and I feel as long as I keep doing what I'm doing, um, I'm on the right track. And it's just I don't see not doing it. I see continuing it until I just can't move anymore.
Yeah, awesome, man. Is there anything else that you want to add on that we didn't touch on, or anything you want to say to maybe somebody viewing this that maybe like in your same situation? Any comments like that or anything?
Well, I think if someone is looking at the idea of getting some fitness and they haven't been involved in any kind of training for a while, you have to be willing to start where you are. You can't jump ahead. You can't feel bad about where you are. You just have to start. And once you start, you're going to find progress happens pretty quickly on some basic things like just base if you start working on leg strength, you'll see it happen. You start doing dumbbell lifts, you'll start seeing it, you'll feel it within a few weeks. Even if you just do planks and push-ups, you'll feel it. You'll feel the strength. And then you have to build on that, and then you have to just make the commitment. And I think for anybody starting out, you're always going to feel like, oh, gee, look, everybody else is so far ahead of me. Well, you have to be willing to say, okay, I'm new at this, but I'm going to do it the best I can and try to work. If you're going to do it, it's probably a good idea to work with somebody to help you evaluate where you are so that you understand what you're doing the right things for your body where it is at this point. But the other thing to not worry about is judgment. Trainers don't judge. If they did, they wouldn't be in that business because it's just everybody's got some crazy problem there, some weakness or some quirk in the way they do things. So you have to just trust that you're on the right track, keep the faith that it's going to work, and stick with it.
All right, awesome, man. So we're gonna conclude now. Thank you so much, Sham, for coming on to the testimonial. Is there anywhere like maybe a social media account that you have that you would want to put out there for anybody to follow?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I have social media accounts, but I don't actually ever post anything to them. So,
No worries.
uh,
All right.
yeah, let me know what you do with this. I'd like to see it.
Yeah, of course. Sounds good, Sam. So then I'm gonna conclude the testimony now. Thank you so much, Sam.